Other interesting political news, you have Vivek having the most classy response to Trump insulting him, and it is Vivek's most liked tweet, bar none. Now, I've been covering Vivek for not quite a year yet. Truth be told, I think the podcast has been around for nearly a year. Now, Trump, and if you're watching the full show, we just analyzed Trump going after Vivek. And I was going to say, if you're tuning in just for the individual clip for this, I'll reiterate right now. So, a little while back, Trump on Truth Social said, quote, Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter, the best president in generations, etc. Unfortunately, now all he does is disguise his support in the form of deceitful campaign tricks. Very sly, but a vote for Vivek is a vote for the other side. Don't get duped into this. Vote for Trump. Don't waste your vote. Vivek is not MAGA. The Biden indictments against his political opponent will never be allowed in this country. They are already beginning to fail. MAGA, unquote. So this is the first time that Trump directly attacked, politically speaking, Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, Vivek responded in perhaps the best way possible. And he was rewarded with more likes than ever before. And as youth might say, he was ratioed in a good way. He's vindicated. So perhaps as a opposite of ratioed, I'll have to check out the Urban Dictionary or Urban Dictionary. I still need to learn what capped means. There's a lot of terms I need to catch up with. Nevertheless, Vivek responded, and these statistics were all written down 48 hours after. Granted, I know it's been a couple days. I had a couple things come up, so it'll take a couple days for us to actually cover this specific topic. But within 48 hours, it got 15.6 million views and 125,000 likes, which, again, is more than he's ever gotten in about a year. And he's had some great posts. I mean, his average post on X Twitter will get between maybe 500,000 and 3 million. I'd say that's a good average, which, again, it's a wide band there. But that's about the average amount of feedback that he gets on X Twitter. Now, again, this is Vivek responded, and he's saying, this is a little long, and truth be told, perhaps this is dyslexia or just speaking ineptitudes. I very well may have some stumbles throughout this quote. That being said, I'm not a doctor, but if you click the subscribe button, it may very well assist with my speaking ineptitudes. Watch the first couple videos, I stuttered a lot, and I spoke a lot faster, believe it or not. And these days, granted, there's a lot of room for improvement. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else I can work on. But as we've got more subscribers, the speaking ineptitudes appear to be getting a little bit less. So my theory is, and perhaps we prove together, if you click the subscribe button, it very well may assist with the videos getting more and more smooth and me making less and less mistakes. Time, of course, shall tell, and we'll dive into Vivek's response right now. He says, quote, yes, I saw President Trump's Truth Social post. It's an unfortunate move by his campaign advisors. I don't think friendly fire is helpful. Donald Trump is one of the greatest presidents in the 21st century, and I'm not going to criticize him in his response to this late attack. I met thousands of Iowans across 390 events here, and they are deeply worried, and so am I, that this system won't allow Donald J. Trump anywhere near the White House again. It seems they may stop at nothing to keep him away from power. I'm worried for Trump. I'm worried for our country. I stood up against the persecutions against Trump, and I've defended him every step. I showed up at the Miami courthouse in solidarity following his first federal indictment. I filed a Freedom of Information demand to the Biden Department of Justice. I submitted an amicus brief this week with the U.S. Supreme Court calling on them to overturn Colorado's ruling. I pledged to remove myself from Maine and Colorado's primary ballots if they remove Trump, calling on DeSantis and Haley to do the same. But we have to open our eyes. Last time it was a man-made pandemic and big tech election interference. Now it's the same billionaires funding the lawsuits against Trump and the ones trying to prop up Nikki Haley. The same mainstream media blasting Trump is lavishing praise on Nikki. They want to narrow this to a two-horse race between Trump and Haley, eliminate Trump one way or another, and trot their puppet into the White House. We can't fall for that trap. 1 year from now, we won't look back and say we were shocked that it happened. We'll all kick ourselves for not stopping it. Our movement must live on. America First didn't start in 2016. It started in 1776. We owe it to our founding fathers to do the right thing for our country. I want to save Trump and save our country. Let's do it together. You won't hear any friendly fire from me. Unquote. And in terms of moves on the political chessboard, I would say checkmate. That is one of the most brilliant and articulate responses I've heard, politically speaking, in my lifetime. Because, again, you're not going to win by insulting Trump. Everyone's tried it for years. And it is a political outlier and a fascination that he's kind of immune to it. No matter how much mud you throw at him, it just kind of slides off. And you're not getting a lot of political points. Chris Christie tried that. His whole campaign was insulting Trump. And at best, that got Chris Christie I think it's 3.2% was his high point. And the, excuse me, that was in the poll aggregator. It's not going to work on the masses. So, I mean, this response was brilliant because, again, and perhaps if Trump, again, there's a lot of theories out there. I don't think I'm original in this thought, but there's a wise old saying you never know someone's character unless it's truly tested. And maybe this is Trump testing him to see, what would Vivek do? Because, again, Trump has, historically speaking, through all these months, about a year campaign, he hasn't really gone against Vivek. And, again, a lot of people are saying it's not really too much of a diss. It wasn't that aggressive. But, again, he did throw some mud at Vivek. And Vivek responded, again, in one of the most articulate ways ever. He's acknowledging that Trump did some good things, which for hundreds of millions of Americans, that is true. There are a lot of things that were better under Donald Trump's leadership than a lot of people would say than now. Anecdotally speaking, I would say in terms of the tax code, and a lot of people had more money in their pockets when Trump was in office because there were certain tax breaks that helped out the middle class. And there are a lot of people who love Trump because he did some good. Like, maybe, I would say not many politicians. Most politicians don't do much good. I would say many politicians do very minuscule, barely any good, but some do more than others. So it's clever that I think Vivek acknowledged that. He said, hey, I saw this being thrown at me. I read it. I'm not going to respond like that. This is my plan. These are my concerns. I think it's pretty articulate, but maybe I'm alone in this assessment. I mean, statistically speaking, we know I'm not. But let's go in the comments and see what's the general consensus. We have one of the first responses coming from the red-headed libertarian who gets an A+ for marketing. She is in fact, a red-headed and libertarian. And she says, quote, brilliant response, unquote. That got 12,000 likes. Now, we do have some contrarian comments brewing to the surface. And the first one comes from Luke Zaleski, who, again, he's a long-time regular. And politically speaking, he's much more on the left if you look at his profile, where he's politically active. And he says, quote, the truth is Trump is a lifelong fraud who took office in 2016 with Russia interference, lied about it, acted like a Putin asset, lost re-election, contested it by asking by Russia in 2016, and incited insurrection, and now he's ruling the GOP in exile just as Putin would want. And Vivek wants to pardon Trump and his attackers and hand the federal government to oligarchs who don't follow the rules or obey law, unquote. Now, again, there's not a modicum of intelligence in that. However, it did get 1.7 thousand likes. So a lot of people agree with that statement. I mean, we now know that the whole Russia collusion thing was BS. That, I don't know if it, not ironic, but it is interesting. Well, perhaps it is irony. That Clinton actually funded the mechanism for that BS research to concoct the whole thing. And interestingly enough, look at where Russia has performed invasions in other countries, or taking back their land, some might argue. Didn't happen under Trump. It happened over Obama's leadership, I believe, as well as the Bush leadership, and Biden's leadership. The only time Russia didn't expand their footprint, geopolitically speaking, was when Trump was in office. Interesting, fun thing to think about. So again, there's one contrarian statement. Now getting back to the mass responses, the Right Angle News Network, which A+ for marketing, their profile picture is in fact of a mathematical or geometrically class, the right angle, and they say, quote, you are very classy to stand up. You are a very classy and stand up guy, Vivek. We are all worried about Trump and what's coming to the country. We must back Trump and not let them achieve what they're planning. We must stand in solidarity and put America first, unquote. They got 5.9 thousand likes. Which, not to brag, I did get 13 likes on video a couple weeks ago. And if you could like this video, I would greatly appreciate it because it helps with the YouTube magical algorithms. And lets me know if I'm doing a good job. If you think I'm doing a terrible job, let me know in the comments. Specifically, any critical feedback, always appreciate it because I want to know what I could improve. Now, someone by the name of Burt Macklin, which that would be hilarious if it was really not Chris Pine. What's the Chris? Not Hemsworth, not Pine. Who's the actor for Parks and Recreation who's now the space guy? Not Hemsworth. Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth. What on earth is that guy's name? Chris Pratt. There we go. It's too many Chris's in Hollywood. It's ridiculous. almost ridiculous as a name like Topping. Oh, wait. Nevertheless. Now, this alleged Burke Macklin says, quote, if he is such a great president, why are you running against him? Unquote. That got 7.5 thousand likes. Which, again, that's one of those things where there are a lot of people who are very much fans of Trump. And Vivek is getting a couple of their condolences and getting a lot of nice comments, but because there's a lot of political things that Trump and Vivek have in common in terms of policies, procedures, and ideals, it's one of those things where the people who like Vivek, they're already supporting Trump. That's why there's so many people in the comments who consistently will say Vivek 2028, because then they would give him their vote. Now, continuing to go through the comments, you have Brick Suit says, quote, I don't think it was a friendly fire. And that was the quote from Vivek. And then he has a picture of Vivek standing with a guy with an Iowa shirt. And it says, save Trump, vote Vivek. And it does have the outline of the state of Iowa, go Hawks, and a picture of Donald Trump in the jail. That got 3.6 thousand likes. Let's see here. Austin Peterson chimed in saying, quote, smart move, my man. You're doing great. Don't get distracted. Wishing you the best for Monday. Unquote, getting 6.3 thousand likes. Let's see here. 3-year Letterman says, quote, IMO. Oh, acronyms. Make it sound cool. They're smart. In my life. Gerald Ford was the greatest living president. Unquote. I got 2,000 likes. I don't know about that, but it was a very agreed upon like. Zeke Akram says, quote, awesome response. I'd like Vivek more and more each day, unquote, getting 3.9 thousand likes. Let's see here. Tara Bull says, quote, if the system won't allow Trump, maybe we need a new system, unquote, getting 2.9 thousand likes, and probably a call from many through their agencies because they're concerned, which in and of itself is concerning. Now, Malcolm Flex, who, I don't want to say A+ for marketing, but he is in fact, as a youth might say, flexing his wealth because he has chose to invest in precious metals such as gold, as he has golden chains around his neck. Now, he says, quote, if people can't understand why they're saying, then that's on them. Those of us who see everything with sober eyes, unquote. Well, dyslexia perhaps aside, and speaking of ineptitudes aside, I'll have to reattempt that. The quote is, quote, if people can't understand what they're saying, then that's on them. Those of us who see everything with sober eyes, unquote. My speaking ineptitudes aside, that got 5,000 likes. Carlson Crow says, quote, if we all ban Trump because the bad guys want us to, then we're already in slave shackles. We have to vote Trump in specifically because they don't want us. You're very smart. I'm sure you know this, unquote. That got 3.3 thousand likes. So Vince Langman says, quote, again, he quotes, a quote within a quote is a little awkward, but Vince Langman says, quote, Vivek Ramaswamy, friendly fire isn't helpful. Also Vivek Ramaswamy. And again, it's a picture of Vivek with 5 gentlemen and maybe 1 lady with the Iowa shirt. And it's the outline of the state of Iowa. And it says, save Trump, vote Vivek. And that got 336 likes. Now, this person, I guess, is interpreting that t-shirt and that statement negatively, but again, Trump is, he's processed. He's being accused of crimes. I don't think they'll actually stick in a court unless depending on what the judge does with the evidence or lack thereof. But again, I think a lot of people do authentically believe that if you want to save Trump from political prosecution, you do have to vote for Vivek. And again, there are some states that are taking Trump off the ballot. So I don't see that as friendly fire to have that t-shirt where it says, vote for Vivek in order to save Trump. It's not insulting Trump because, again, he's officially been accused of crimes. So let me know in the comments if you think that's a pejorative statement or a pejorative shirt. But again, they're saying if they truly want to save Trump, they need to vote for Vivek. I don't see that as a negative attack as this person I think they're interpreting it as. Now, nevertheless, again, that got 336 likes. We'll do 1 or 2 more. And again, it seems to be all overwhelming response for Vivek. And again, that's more likes than he's ever gotten before. Let's see here. Excuse me. Bob BLD, another contrarian statement, he says, quote, "You sure? Almost half of Americans disagree." And he references an article. They say 40%, 47% of Americans say he will be remembered as one of the worst presidents in American history, unquote. And that is referencing, I hate when they don't give you the sample size of the data, but that's just referencing it's just a screenshot of a news article. They don't say, how many people were in that poll, where they were geographically, what their political status is. Because again, I think a lot of people do love Trump. Don't get me wrong, there are people who hate him, of course. That's how it is usually in politics. It's usually a 50-50 shot. Now, it's fascinating to think that I got 266 likes on that. Let's see here. A little more contrarian statement. Red Wave Press, who A+ for marketing, their profile picture is in fact of a red wave. They say, quote, "This is an awful response to Trump's attacks. Trump attacked him because he is worried Vivek will take MAGA voters away from him. Vivek should be telling him why they should vote for him, not Trump. Follow if you agree," unquote. Which, interestingly enough, a lot of people, 224 people did like that. Now, one more. Christina Pushall with alligator emoji, or crocodile, I can't really tell. Nevertheless, it's in the profile. She says, quote, "Wait, Trump doesn't write his own posts on social media. His campaign advisors post for him," unquote. They got 702 likes. And I think a lot of people are referencing maybe he listened to them. That is one of those things where I'd be fascinated if Elon were to do a plugin. I guess, again, Truth Social is a different social network, but if there's some type of, well, again, you have the technology, and if you're on X, Twitter, you already signed away most of your rights in terms of digital privacy, but I wonder if they could make it a terms and conditions where it has to be posted by you. So you couldn't have a marketing company or a political advisor do it for you. I mean, in terms of that'd be a fascinating thing to do where, again, you have the front, if you're not concerned about cybersecurity, your front camera is just always unblocked on your phone. Truth be told, I use a very expensive space-age technology to ensure my front-facing camera is never utilized, called clear tape, or if you're into brands and marketing, Scotch tape, which is actually a brand. So then they could utilize that to ensure it's you that's actually posting for that, perhaps. Though, truth be told, you could just copy and paste, or someone could forward it to you, and then you text it. But then you know that person is the actual person doing it. That'd be an interesting idea that it's not unconceivable that could happen in the future. Let's see here. All right, we'll do one more. Carolina says, quote, "You're doing wonderful, but you made a mistake by posting a photo of yourself posing as Trump's savior. Trump doesn't need, and I'm sure he doesn't want a savior," unquote. That got 549 likes. Now, truth be told, I think Trump could use some allies, because again, the more people you have, politically speaking, in your circle, the better. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of crazy things going on in politics this week. We'll analyze more of the Iowa caucuses later. But let me know in the comments. I mean, do you think, was Vivek's response to Trump perfect? Is there anything he could have done better? Do you think he should have taken the offensive and maybe insult Trump and go attack Trump for some of his gaps? It'd be interesting to see, and always be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to leave a comment and like. That's a great way to give me some additional feedback. And of course, I want to make the shows better and better and better. Also, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.